All of the time, people feel stuck with those heavy feelings of fear where they feel punched in the gut because they just feel off, or they feel like they're trying to live their life and be happy. And there's that like lurking fear in the back of their mind. And of course, that can affect your happiness, your health, your life, your relationships. I want to take a moment and talk about this topic because it is so misunderstood. What we want to really realize about the mind is extremely counterintuitive. Let's say, for example, somebody has a pattern of feeling guilty. Well, if somebody feels guilty or like they deserve punishment, then they feel like they deserve bad things to happen. And so what can happen is the brain then says, well, that bad thing, or that bad thing, or that bad thing. Or let's say somebody has a pattern of sympathy, of feeling like they want sympathy for traumatic things at a subconscious level. Obviously people don't put this in their brain on purpose, but it can start in childhood and then it becomes a pattern. Well, then on a subconscious level, if they feel like they get love or connection through sympathy, then there's part of their brain that wants something bad to happen. And of course, the other part of the brain is like fearful. It's like nothing bad. They don't want anything to happen. And so it can create this subconscious fear. A lot of times what happens when it comes to fear is people try to tell their brain, oh, don't fear this, or just stop, or just shut up, or they just try to bury it. But to really resolve it, ultimately, we need to rewire something, to reprogram something in the mind. Otherwise, it just keeps happening. And a lot of times, unfortunately, we start to get used to it. There's that saying, time heals all wounds. But it doesn't, because if it did, then nobody would ever be upset about anything in their childhood. So time doesn't heal all wounds, but time does give us time to get used to the feeling and to bury it. And so that's what happens is we get so used to it. We're walking around, we don't realize we have these buried feelings. And so if you're experiencing feelings of fear, you want to really understand why. Is it fear that something is going to happen again? And if so, then you'll want to actually reprogram your expectations moving forward in your mind and get that reprogrammed in your mind. Or if it's a feeling of deserving punishment or guilt or whatever that is, get yourself out of those negative feelings and feel like you deserve a great life. You deserve to be happy and healthy and loved and safe. Or if it's a pattern of sympathy, the reality of it is patterns breed more of the same. Whatever pattern it is, you'll want to really understand why it's happening and then rewire it instead of just burying it. That is key for making a real change.